Welcome back to Whatever We Want, a podcast about celebrating storytelling. We are not talking about movies and TV shows.
Storytelling.
Because of the ongoing writer's strike. Well, there's some stories that could come out of this, but before we get into that...
Story of my life. Story of my life.
Yeah,
exactly.
We're talking with very special guests today. My mom has joined us for this episode. Thank you for joining us, Mom. How are you doing today?
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I've been listening. I love it, and I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. We're really excited too. I feel like you're an expert because today we're talking about fall activities, and what I was going to say is that fall activities, they often like bring up good stories, like they're good stories to tell after the fact. So it is kind of storytelling in there, and like you get memories from that. And you were the queen of fall activities. For our audio listeners, my mom is decked out in an orange shirt and an orange pumpkin glasses. Yeah, it says "Love Fall, y'all."
Fall, y'all.
Half these shirts I don't know you have them. Like I didn't know you had that until just now. Have you had that for a while? Or?
I have a ton. I mean, I'm a teacher. You know, teachers have all the seasonal shirts and all that kind of stuff, and fall's my jam, so I have a ton of them.
Nice. Yeah, so basically the way this is going to work today, we're going to kind of each bounce back and forth and list like one of our favorite fall activities. And we're kind of going to discuss like, is this a good fall activity? Is this a bad fall activity? What are the pros and cons? Because 'tis the season. I think this is going to be going out end of September. And I'm just getting like in the mood. I since I moved to California, like we don't get as much of a fall as like back in Pennsylvania. So I'm craving some fall energy, and this is going to be my fix for a little bit. Yeah, but with that, are we ready to jump into the first fall activity that we want to talk about? Some of our favorite fall activities, and at the end also, we're gonna maybe then decide like what our favorite one out of everything is that we've discussed. Yeah. So, Mom, since you're our guest, would you like to talk about your first fall activity you want to discuss?
Absolutely. So you mentioned being in California. I think that's interesting because one of the things I love the most about the fall is the weather. I love the cooler weather. And I'm not familiar with anywhere else because I've only lived in a couple places in my life. So I would say that's one of the best things about fall here in PA. The change in the weather, it's cooler, it's cool. But my favorite activity, I think, is going to be fall festivals. Oh, okay. And I know that's, again, maybe generational. But this time of the year, there's tons of festivals around. They have crafts, they have food, they have... You just picked the activity that has like 7 activities. I'm like thinking like, oh, can I say all of my... There were no caveats here. You're right. You're very right. My favorite fall activity is all of it. There's music, there's activities for the kids, and and it's just, I think it's a lot of fun because you're outside, so you're enjoying the weather. Get to see, tons of cool stuff that people are so passionate about and talented, and it's awesome. Yeah, I agree with that one. I do like fall festivals. I don't know. I wasn't really thinking about how to talk about that because it's like a couple activities in one. Like, I guess what stands out to me there, we were talking last time, I don't think this episode has gone out yet. It goes out soon after recording this, but we were talking about at the very end of Food for Thought, we were talking about like favorite carnival and like amusement park food, and like I feel like a fall festival also has some good amusement park food, but also with the flavor of fall in there, because it's like very specific to like, oh, you also have like fresh apple and pumpkin pies, and you also have like those pumpkin swirl things, and that's what's getting me excited actually about like a fall festival. You just make me hungry. I know. I say breakfast and I'm like, I could eat again. So that's my favorite. Matter of fact, Kylie, Jake's sister, just contacted me and sent me like 3 different. She's like, look, next weekend and the one after that. Wow. I will say a potential. I think the pro of this is also a con of this. I think because it's a fall festival, there's so many activities. Like you can do pumpkin carving, or you can do like a hayride, or you can do like a bake-off or something. Like maybe you don't get to experience everything or experience it all like fully present because you're like, I want to do the next thing. So maybe that might be a potential. If we're just looking at it objectively, like I agree it's great, but like I'm just trying to think like how are we gonna rank this because this is all of them. Well, you've got to think of like this is fall. I feel like within fall there's Halloween, and then within fall there's Thanksgiving. So like there's so many different like facets of it. So yeah, that's my number one. Yeah, I like that one. Daniel, do you have thoughts on the Fall Fest?
No, it's a good idea. Like I was actually gonna bring up kind of tangential.
I'm glad
things
you
to that.
approve
like,
of the idea of a fall festival.
No.
A concept that has been tested for generations.
Well, no, because it like brings me back because I always love going to like the Apple Festival. There's so much good food and stuff there. Like there's been so many different festivals and things that I like going to during this time of year as well. So like my mind, I also like specifically like my next thing on my list was gonna say just going to Ashcombes.
To Ashcombes? What is that?
You've never been to Ashcombes?
Have
Yes,
I been
he
to
has.
Ashcombes? Okay.
Yes, he has.
This is so good that you're here
cheesesteak.
because you can like. Wait,
It's
what is
not-
that
it's-
though?
It's like a little spot where they have they have like their own store. There you could do like pumpkin picking. They have like their own hay like maize and all that.
Oh yeah, that's a very local reference.
They have the beautiful gardens. They have the really good whoopie pies.
They do.
Oh,
Agree.
the whoopie pies.
Yeah. So just the overall experience there is like always nice. Like just being able to go around, see little like knickknacks and things, just eat. And it's kind of like the same thing as like a festival, but like it's not really just a festival. You just kind of like go there and just like meander.
Yeah, and I would say it's on a smaller scale than a festival because,
Okay.
like Jake said, as you know, a big fall festival, the drawback is you can't necessarily go to everything. You go spend a couple hours at Ashcombe and you enjoy a little bit of each of those things, and you've kind of made it through the
Gotcha.
entire place.
So we're
Yeah,
narrowing
exactly.
down a little bit. Okay.
It's a mini
Gotcha.
festival.
Yeah.
I looked up Ashcombe, and for some reason, the first thing that popped up was directions from my location to Ashcombe. And if I start driving now, I'll make it there in 38 hours.
It's worth it, Jake. Trust me.
Come
Yeah.
on, come on.
Is it even open right now? Yeah. That's a good one.
I feel like if you went there, you'd remember it.
I was thinking of more universal ones, Daniel, that like everyone could relate to that listens to this, not one that's in Mechanicsburg.
Okay. I have a universal one then. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Because it comes around this time of year. Is the at least for PA is the PA Renaissance Fair.
I love how you just said like this universal one, but actually for Pennsylvania.
Different states that have their fairs. I'm just saying, but like they
That's a
generally
good
happen
one.
around the fall. you
That's
know?
one I'm not really familiar with. I haven't been to a Renaissance fair, but it's been on like my bucket
they're
list
so fun.
for a while. I know.
Yeah.
What do you like about them?
There's so many different aspects to it. I mean, like I'm not usually one of the guys that dresses up. I like just going around and like eating and again, I like food, but like again, like some nice like hot cider and like just a
Oh.
good old turkey leg. And just walking around, like seeing people joust and like all different kinds of things going on.
That's kind
It's
of like a
always fun
take on a
time.
fall festival. It's like a themed fall festival where
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
the theme is poor 1800s.
But no, dude, people do like the craziest stuff there too. Like I remember one time there was like this medieval like Doctor Doom cosplay this guy
Whoa.
did, and it looked freaking dope because he was like in like knight armor, but he looked again
That's
like
cool.
Doctor Doom.
That's interesting. I wonder
Yeah.
if you like can do that to Comic-Con or if it's specifically for the Renaissance fair, like that you can do like medieval comic themed outfits.
People also
I don't
just
know.
do whatever. At least on our Ren fair, there's like also just stormtroopers walking around the one day.
Oh,
so
I remember that from the medieval times.
Just evil.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's different themes for the Ren Fair too. Like every weekend, there's like a different theme. So,
Yeah.
Oh,
you know,
what?
And
That
one
was
of them
fun.
is like I think there is like an Oktoberfest one, like things like so. They
Oh,
have different
wow.
themes.
Oh yeah, Jake.
Dang. Have you been, Mom, to the Renaissance
Yeah.
fair?
Yeah.
Wait, when? What?
Fairly certain we may have taken you when you were
Oh.
younger as well.
Oh my gosh. I'm just,
Yeah,
my life is slipping out of my memory.
Here's the thing, Jake and Daniel, and I believe this wholeheartedly. One of the reasons Jake doesn't remember Ashcombe is because we did a ton of fun stuff together. We would
Yeah.
go multiple places. I mean,
I had a good childhood. Thank you, Mom.
It's just so brim, so full of good experiences.
And you
that
didn't,
just had
Daniel,
to
which
fall
is why you
out.
only remember
Yeah.
this activity.
It's he probably has done it more recently than you, but I do
Yeah.
think that that's part of it. You know, when you do a lot of things, there are a couple that you have key, memories of, but the other ones are just
Yeah.
Yeah.
in there. So
We haven't really discussed like a rating system. How are we going to rank all of these? Like, do we want to do a S to F tier? Do we want to do a 1 to 10? Do we want to come up with some like
Pumpkin to snowflake.
pumpkin to what? Is that like
Because it's like if you get the snowflake, that's like it's not really like fall again, like wintry, or maybe it doesn't.
and like in the
fit.
middle can be like Nightmare Before Christmas because it's like in between.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Wait, maybe it goes from jack-o'-lantern to So it's jack-o'-lantern. It's like our S to F basically, but it's like jack-o'-lantern, then pumpkin, Nightmare Before Christmas, something, and then snowflake. Can those be the rankings? Maybe. I feel like that's not complicated to follow, right?
Can we do like turkey? Okay, because it's like
That is
going
true.
out
Maybe
of
Oh
the
yeah,
season.
because turkeys, going out of the season is also like commonly had at like a Christmas dinner, so it's kind of like out of fall.
it would be
into-
like
okay,
so it's like a gradient.
So
Yeah,
we've got. Wait, but are we saying turkey is less fall than Nightmare Before Christmas? Because we've had some discussions about Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's tough.
No, I think we can say
That's-
turkey. I think for simplicity's
Yeah.
sake, let's do that. So we have jack-o'-lantern, pumpkin, Nightmare Before Christmas, turkey, and snowflake. Those are our rankings. I'd say fall festival. I would say I want to save jack-o'-lantern for like the elite of the elite. Even though fall festival does have like everything, I think the con of like, oh, like you can be jumping around to a bunch and maybe don't get to see everything or experience everything like fully present. I'm gonna say it's pumpkin. That's my 2 cents on a fall festival. The first one we talked about. Thoughts?
That's fair.
Obviously, it's my favorite, so I'm gonna have to say jack-o'-lantern.
Okay.
If you're both saying pumpkin, I'm okay with
No,
that.
I think we can compromise. Like we can do jack-o'-lantern
No.
minus.
This is too much.
It just has the eyes cut out. There's like no mouth yet.
Right. Well, actually, how about we don't do an average? We just each say what our own personal score is, and then at the end we can discuss like cumulatively what we decide is like the best. So you're saying I'm saying Daniel and I are saying pumpkin. Mom, you're saying jack-o'-lantern for that. Okay.
Yep.
And then Daniel, you said Ashcombes, right?
I said Ashcombes and the Ren Fair.
Yeah.
I feel
Ashcombes is so niche. I feel like I'm gonna say like Nightmare Before Pumpkin or like in between the two or something. Oh, this is too complicated already, and I love it. Let's keep going.
I would honestly say Ashcombes is also pumpkin. I would personally put Ren Fair at Jack.
Like Jack Skellington or
No, Lantern.
Jack-o'-lantern.
A lantern.
I'm gonna say for me personally, I'm putting Ren Fair at Nightmare Before Christmas because I haven't been, so I don't have like it has to be like the middle of the road for me. Like I understand the appeal to it.
I
but,
get that, Jake, but like,
but actually, screw
but
you.
like actually,
I'm gonna put Ashcombe at pumpkin. I do love it, but Jake's right. It's very, just our
Niche.
area.
Yeah.
And then Ren Fair, I'm gonna put at pumpkin as well, which it's super fun. And
There's a lot of sweaty dudes though.
I'm always about dressing up, but I do feel like personally for me, I never make it to everything at the Ren Fair because I'm always like captivated by like the human chessboard or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I look up and I'm like, I really don't want to spend 8 hours here. Like I'm going. So.
That's a good one. That's a good justification. All right.
And my children always wanted to buy dragons while we were there, which were of course the
oh
lizards.
my god, I remember those. Yeah, the ones that
Right,
sit on the
yeah.
shoulder,
And
you have like the little like.
Maybe that's why I haven't
like,
been back in a
lever
while.
thing.
So that
Yeah.
Rick and I were like,
temptation
"Ooh,
is-
we're not buying pets."
No, but no, it's nice like when you're around like our age, like with the boys, being able to go around, get drinks, and just like see like medieval.
Is there a chance we
dudes.
can do that when I'm home next month, Daniel?
Dude, I'd be down. Yeah.
I have like no time. Maybe I'll see if I can get another day off work or something. I don't know.
You would have a blast, Jake. You guys would
Yeah, dude,
definitely have
yeah.
a great time.
All right.
You
Well,
and I could joust or do fencing. There's like this one thing where it's like you have like balloons in your shoulder and your head, and you have like a guard thing up.
Oh,
and you're
wow.
able to like you gotta like swipe the balloons off the other person.
you know what would be like a really cool scene for like a joust? A corn maze, which is my next topic. Boom! Look at that segue. Sorry, are we okay? Moving
Would that
on
be a
to
cool
my...
scene though? Like I get the segue, but like imagine like you can't see anything because like you're only seeing like a dude's head over the corn. As,
What?
like,
You film
he's riding
within the
horse
maze.
through it.
You're not filming from outside the corn maze, looking in at this joust. What do you mean? But no. One of my favorite fall activities is a corn maze. It's actually the reason I came up with this podcast idea, this topic, is because I've been craving to go through a corn maze.
maze.
Yeah, well, the one I go to is called the Amazing Maze Maze, which is just an amazing name.
It's amazing. Yeah.
It's an maze name.
Amazing.
Yeah. Especially like a really good corn maze. Like again, I think this goes back to my slight criticism of like the first few is like there's a few activities like all within the overall like umbrella of our first activities. When I'm going to a corn maze, like that's what I'm going to. I do know that the Cherry Crest Farms that we go to that has the Amazing Maze does have like a bunch of other activities, and I do like those. But when I go there, I'm going for the maze. I'm like beelining for that maze. And I remember when we were younger, we went and like like the Amazing Maze is awesome because it has like puzzles within the maze. So you're not just going through the maze, but you also have to like complete this like word puzzle by finding clues within the maze. So you have to intentionally go through. Hey, for our audio listeners, the cat has jumped up on the computer. Mac has made his another guest appearance. Hey, Mac.
And I have to tell you that he's been crying and meowing. So on the audio listeners, if you hear that, my apologies.
That's all good.
Oh, look, Jake.
Yeah.
What?
I saved it.
Oh, you have the Amazing Maze? Sorry, Daniel's really small on my screen. Daniel has, for audio listeners, Daniel's holding up his map of the Amazing Maze. And I think you have to like
see
piece it together,
have
right?
Different segments and pieces. So when you solve the puzzles, you get the different segments and you can put it all together.
So for our audio listeners, Daniel has like a map. So you might think, oh, that's really easy. You can just look at the map. But no, like I think you get pieces of the map within the maze, like once you get through that section. So
and then it helps you figure out like where you might want to go to find like the next piece and all.
Yeah, and I remember my dad and I like spent what felt like days in this maze.
Days in the maze.
Just looking for the last piece, and like it broke me. Like I think that was the switch from adolescence to adulthood in my life, honestly. But it was so difficult, but it was so fun just trying to get it together. I don't think we ever got it. Like we had to leave, and like it was impossible. But
it was a long day. I'm not gonna lie. It was a long day.
I think you and Kylie, like I don't think you gave up, but you were just like, I think Kylie was done.
Kylie was done. Yes, she was younger, like younger than Jake, and she was like, "There's an easy out. This right here. Let's go." And I was like, "Okay," So of course, one of us has to go and one of us has to stay. So Dad decided to stay, and I mean, they were in. Luckily, there were other things at Cherry Crest Farm.
Otherwise you guys would have been really bored.
Jake does not like to give up on things, and so we were there for a very long time.
Yeah. I mean, corn mazes, I feel like some pros are it's physically an active activity. Like you're walking around and be like, you're not supposed to run, but we were running because we're competitive. And mentally it's also like challenging and engaging because you're trying to get through this puzzle, especially when there's other puzzles within the puzzle. Yeah. Maybe a potential con could be like, it maybe gets old a little quickly because you're just walking around looking at dead corn forever. It feels like the same thing. But the corn maze that we go to, it kind of broke it up. Like there's a literal like food court within the maze that you can like go to for a break.
Yeah, dude, that threw me off.
That's really cool.
Smart though.
I forget did I get cider or milk when we did the last time? I remember I got something. It revitalized me. Like I needed that.
Really smart.
Yeah, it's really smart.
It is because everybody's thirsty and hungry by that point.
Yeah,
they've been there for hours.
Yeah, I mean, but also that proves. I feel like that shows their
business plan works.
Belief in their own maze because like. If they are putting food in there, they're like, you could starve if you're in here for too long because of how complex we made this maze. So you can't sue us because we put food in the maze. Yeah. And then also maybe a potential con is once you do it once, like, you know the maze and like all right, that's it.
Well, yeah, but if it takes you like a good couple hours to get,
you're probably not gonna map it like after one go,
Yeah.
Well, and there's a ton of them, and I mean, and most of them change their theme every year. So
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I
think corn mazes are great.
Me too. I think it's really cool. Like Daniel, can you hold up that map again? I'm so surprised you have it on hand like immediately after a year.
Yeah, man.
But like, I think it's cool also just like, I don't know how you get into the profession of like corn maze designing, but like that's so niche, but also like really cool how the intricacies of the corn maze, like they spell out words, like they spell out thank you, they have like logos and stuff in there. Like, how do you get into that? And they do it really well, so that's cool.
I mean, I feel like designing it is the easy part. It's the actually going down,
planting and implementing
corn,
it,
doing it.
Yeah. Do they plant like all the corn, then cut it out, or do they just plant it in the form of the maze?
We need a how it's made video on this.
They probably plant it in the form of the maze because I feel like it'd be really difficult to harvest like individual plots, I feel like. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't know. That's a great question.
But then again, farmer-wise, right? Like, economically, you could grow the corn.
Yeah, and
if
then
you have,
sell it, like Interstellar wise.
Yeah, you sell it, yeah. And if you have, like, your plow or whatever that's, like, this size, I don't know what you technically use.
Maybe it's like a push plow or something.
Yeah, like...
Oh, my.
Oh, my gosh,
Oh,
yeah.
that'd be a lot.
I hope they get paid well.
But you just go through and get it all. So I think that'd be...
Yeah, because all the other corn's like just wasted because it's unless they harvest it just out of the stalk
maybe?
or whatever. Because it's probably dead by the time by October. It's like way too late to
True.
harvest the corn. It's like dead. I don't know, but either
they
way,
could sell those corn stalks. I mean, people
Yeah.
buy those and decorate their house. So maybe
that's
they do
true.
that. Maybe they cut it down and sell it at.
Are they good fire source at that? Do people use them for fire?
Maybe fire like fuel or something.
Yeah.
All right, let's rank corn maze. I'm putting this at jack-o'-lantern. This is one of my favorites.
I'm putting this at pumpkin.
I'm gonna say jack-o'-lantern. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's awesome, and I think it's a great like family activity. It's a great date activity. It's
Yeah.
great with your friends. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
The only reason I'm putting it at pumpkin is because it really depends on the maze. You can have some good ones, you can have some bad ones.
Who hurt you, Daniel?
The amazing maze, like that was top tier.
Yeah.
But like there's other ones that are
Not so
kinda just
amazing.
basic. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think you have to be prepared because I mean, if the weather's not cooperating,
That's
then
true.
it's
It's
a
very
mess
weather
dependent.
inside.
But also, I also feel like all the other activities.
yeah.
Yeah.
But also,
100%.
I feel like the activities you have more of a chance to get inside quickly. If you're in the middle of a maze and it starts raining, you're like,
You start walking like through the
Yeah.
stalks,
Yeah,
like,
right.
I gotta get out of here.
Do not cut through here, and then you're there.
Yeah. All right, good to know. All right. So we each kind of did our first ones. Daniel kind of did too. So, Mom, back to you. Circling back to you. What is your next favorite fall activity?
Okay. It has to do with pumpkins. I'm
Oh.
going to say it's visiting the pumpkin patch to pick your best pumpkin and then carve it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like them both together. Like, I know it's still fun to carve a pumpkin that someone, brings from, I don't know, Walmart.
Giant.
But
Yeah.
but I think it's more fun to go and find your perfect pumpkin, and then you might have some hot cider or something like that when you're there.
Yeah.
And then head home and carve it either, with just your family, or we used to have pumpkin carving parties when the kids were younger, and
Yeah.
and they've continued the tradition with their friends, and I just think it's a blast.
Totally. I agree. I do feel like the pumpkin patch part of it isn't as necessary for me. I think I gravitate more towards the pumpkin carving aspect, but I do really like the pumpkin patch part. Like, I think one of my first times going alone was with Daniel when we went to the Cherry Crest Farms. They also have a pumpkin patch, and Daniel and I did this photo shoot in the pumpkin patch, which I think Daniel, you said
You took a way better photo of me, dude. I was like,
I know, it's like those memes where it's like me when I take photos of my friends, and it's like these stunning professional photographers, and when my friends take a picture of me, and it's like this really high angle, awkward angle, not even ready for the picture. Yeah, I had a lens flare for Daniel, and it was not the same for me.
I'll make up for it.
All
When
right.
we go to the Ren Fair.
Okay.
We took pumpkin carving seriously, though.
Oh,
we had
yeah.
all the different tools. Years ago, it was literally just a knife, and then they came out with everything
The
under
tools,
the
yeah.
sun. And we had the bowls, and then we keep the seeds, and we roast the seeds. And I mean,
Yeah,
and,
that's also good because you can use all the other parts, think of the environment. You can use the other parts of the pumpkin for other things, which is good for the environment, but also leads to other fall activities. So I feel like our tier is called jack-o'-lantern. I feel like if we
Yeah.
don't rate this jack-o'-lantern, we're doing something wrong here. But no, I totally really pumpkin carving, jack-o'-lantern creation is an elite activity. And I remember we would also watch on the Food Network, I think it was, when they had those giant pumpkin carving
Oh, yeah,
specials. And they just made it look so easy. And then whenever I would go to a pumpkin, it would be so bad compared to that.
do you know where it came from? Pumpkin carving?
No, I didn't. Are we getting a TTTT right now?
Well,
Wait,
I
let me
looked
guess.
at-
Did it come from scarecrows? They needed to put it on the scarecrows, and then they...
No.
Dang, okay.
Believe it or not. So I went to National Geographic, and they said that there's a festival in Ireland, which is it's Halloween. They have had a belief that the souls of the dead would interact with the souls of the living. And so people felt like in order to keep them away, they had to have something that was scary or that was lit to keep them away.
Oh.
Metal was expensive, and so they started carving.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting.
And it was actually, I think, turnips and things like that at first. And then it turned into other vegetables, and then the pumpkin kind of came into the picture. But yeah, I just read about
That's really cool. I never knew
interesting,
about that tradition. But that's really cool. That's now I'm scared if I don't do pumpkins, I will get haunted by the dead. So I need to do that this year.
And there was more information in that article all about why they call them jack-o'-lanterns and things like that. So it was in a very, very interesting article.
I feel like National Geographic is probably like the most prestigious of sources that has been brought up on this podcast, honestly.
Well, I originally Googled it, and then I thought, I can't do that. I can't cite Google.
You're a teacher. It's more okay for us. We're not teachers.
Yeah, I teach at an art school, so we, it's all just
You're good. I'm sure you cite a whole lot of great sources. All right, back to you, Daniel. What's your next favorite?
Wait, so we're all saying this is jack-o'-lantern?
Yeah, I'm saying jack-o'-lantern.
Me too.
Yeah, agreed.
That's a front runner right now. All right.
Yeah. Okay, so my next
Wait,
one...
sorry, so sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I've already done too, Jake. I feel like it should be your turn actually.
No, we can go back to you. I just want to ask for jack-o'-lantern, what do you guys think you're going to do this year for your design, or what is your if you can't think of that, what was your favorite design you've done?
That's a good question.
I actually like it's not that I don't like carving pumpkins, but I don't like the after side of carving pumpkins with like the scales and the slime and all that gross stuff that ends up inside of them.
Oh, so yeah, I didn't have to deal with that as a kid because you did. So I was
like, whatever. So like I kind of started gravitating more towards like artsy ones where like you like push like wires into them
like
and stuff like that. That looks kind of cool. So I still count that as jack-o'-lantern. Like I would still do that at a pumpkin carving party. I just wouldn't be using those tools. So that's it'll probably be something like that for me this year.
Gotcha. Daniel, what you?
For me, I don't really have like a specific design. I just like getting like really exaggerated with like the facial expressions and stuff like that. So like doing like a wheel, like wide, like jaggedy mouth, and like seeing like how far you can like push the eyes. And sometimes I might try to do like a mix between like full cutout to like soft relief, because if you get the light inside and then you get like just a like relief cutout, you can
shading,
get the like back glow.
Daniel's an art student. We get it.
Yeah, I'm not talented for like that.
It takes a lot of time. It does.
I know. I like to think I can do that, and I always have the highest hopes, and then I get really like impatient, and then and I'm also, I think in recent years I've been like, I'm an adult, I can freehand this. I've been carving pumpkins since I was a kid, and then it's like so bad. I'm like, I should have used a stencil or something. So I think some of my favorite ones was when I was younger. I think like when I was. Before, I was at like the bell curve where like my skill level was rising, but I also wasn't too cocky that I was going to I was like, I'm going to do freehand, because then it started going downhill. So like maybe like mid-teens, early teens, those are some of my favorite pumpkins when I use like stencils to do like bats and stuff, I feel like.
Yeah.
All right, Daniel, what's another one for you? Fall activities.
Okay, so this isn't really one that's like outside, but this is something that like we always did for like, as like a tradition here, like trick or treat, or just anytime during the season. It was just sitting down and watching Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin, dude. I feel like people can resonate with that. Or
resonate?
Not resonate. Yeah, I keep on saying that.
Please resign from Halloween. That's a good one. Mom, did we ever? That wasn't really a tradition with us, was it? Like watching the Charlie Brown.
No, we didn't. I mean, we would watch it occasionally, but both you and Kylie like would gravitate towards other types of, Halloween types of shows, like Kylie with, oh my gosh, The Nightmare Before Christmas. And so Charlie Brown I feel like it's an older tradition, and that's really cool that your family did that. Yeah, because that was when I was a kid. That was like the only Halloween special. I mean, you watch Charlie Brown or nothing.
That is crazy to think about the influx of Halloween movies, but that is really cool. I feel like that is a classic. But for me, since it wasn't really a tradition for me, I'm putting it at Nightmare Before Christmas level, maybe like slightly above, because it is a Halloween movie, unlike Nightmare Before Christmas.
Well, what if we say this? Just like Halloween movies in general, because like
Oh, okay.
or like
Yeah, I think
like
that's good.
fall holidays, like one of my other favorite ones is like Monster House, because like that was like at a
Oh.
time where like CGI was like good and stylized, but like it was like a really like really fun little animated story.
Yeah. I remember seeing the trailers
yeah.
for that all the time, but I don't think I ever
You've
saw
never
the
seen
movie.
Monster House?
I don't think so.
I haven't seen it either. Now I'm writing it down, Daniel. I'm writing it on my notes.
It's
Oh, your kids would love it. Well,
uh,
depending. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it depends.
I feel like it's
Is
one.
it gory?
Not really, but there's
No.
some points where the house gets like really.
Yeah,
like,
I
for,
think
like,
it was
younger kids,
came
so
out
it might be
at
too
that
much.
age where mom, you were like, you were always very protective, but like I think you were protective, and we're like, I don't know about this one. But also that was also the year I saw Revenge of the Sith, so maybe I could have seen it. I don't know. Even though that was dad pushing for that.
Yes, I was definitely the overprotective one when it came to what you watched and all that kind of stuff. And I'll be very honest with you. I don't like anything that's gory. So I know some people adore like Halloween movies and the
gore?
gore and the guts and
Uh-huh.
all that. But I mean, and this is going to go, you're going to see this across the gamut when we talk. Like, I don't like haunted hay rides. I don't like, I mean, I am a big baby and
Yeah.
I don't like.
Maybe that's why you like the fall festivals so much, because I feel like there are haunted hay rides there, but you can choose not to do it because there's so many other activities.
Yeah.
100%. Even when we took that ghost tour with your dad that he really wanted, I
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
please don't let us see anything weird.
No ghost.
So
Not
yeah,
even
so
a
I hear
Casper.
what you're saying.
But no, I agree with that. I'm not a gore person either. Like I
Okay.
hate that kind of stuff. Also, just like horror movies, I feel like they're either like they do it good or it's just really dumb and cheesy. Like I remember when I went to go see It 2. I've never really even saw the first one.
Well, that's the difference, Daniel. I think you will go see that stuff and at least look at it. My mom will not even go to
No.
it.
No.
Well, to be fair, I went on that one for date reasons. That was the only reason why I went to go do that. But it was bad. It was just bad.
Yeah.
The date
But,
or the movie or both?
No, the movie. The date was okay.
Okay.
That was a while ago. That was a while ago.
I do like Halloween movies though. Like I know, I mean, this is not your genre, but like I like Hocus Pocus and I like things like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that there are some Halloween movies that are a lot of fun and
With
it's
fun
kind of
Halloween
cool
movies, yeah.
that it's, nice for that time of the year and then
Yeah.
you can watch them at other times, Kylie. But you don't have to.
I feel like Kylie is like, for Kylie with Halloween is like the Evan with Christmas of the group. Kind of.
Yeah.
Like Kylie goes hard at Halloween,
Yes.
and like even leading, like right now she's like, I feel like gearing up already, even though it's like beginning of September.
Yeah. When I told her I was getting going on the podcast, she went, "I'm the queen of fall."
But Jake, that just reminded me.
Oh well. Yeah.
Spider-Man, like Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man 1 is a Thanksgiving movie.
Yeah. Because he has that scene with the Green Goblin at the Thanksgiving dinner, right?
Yeah, and they have like the Macy's Day Parade and all that.
Yeah.
And all, so,
Okay. Are we now we're on like the Die Hard? Is it a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Conversation.
I feel like also Iron Man 3 is a Christmas movie because it takes place.
All right,
Winter.
so Halloween movies. I'll give it a pumpkin now that
Yeah.
we've included more than just Charlie Brown. I'll
Yeah.
give it a pumpkin.
I love movies, like we talk about that on this podcast all the time. I think in the scheme of fall activities, I think a lot of fall activities, the appeal is like you get to do things with people that you love. And I think with a movie environment, you're not really interacting with those people because you're looking at a movie. So that's why I can't put this super high. So I still think I might put this at like a Nightmare Before Christmas level, as it is a Halloween movie. Like I feel like I have to rate it at that level.
Yeah. You know what, Jake? You're right. Because I would choose to go to Ashcombe and the Ren Fair. And I think we rated those as pumpkin over watching a movie. So yeah, I'm gonna have to move mine down as well.
Yeah. What do you say, Daniel?
what was Nightmare just below pumpkin?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like the mid.
Then yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Like imagine that somebody coming up to you and you're like, okay, I'm gonna give you two options.
Yeah.
You can go to the PA Ren Fair,
Yeah.
or we can watch
Charlie
Monster
Brown.
House.
I mean, honestly, it depends on the mood I'm in. If it's like 8 p.m., I'm like,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That was a good one, Daniel. I like the Halloween movie call.
Yeah.
My next one, I think this might be some controversy. Like, we may have not controversy, but I think we might actually have some differing opinions. I feel like we've been very uniform on these. This one I want to talk about is football, like fall football. I feel like this one has grown on me a ton very recently. Like, because when I was like a kid, I could care less, or no, I couldn't care less, right? I couldn't care less about football. I was just like, why are we watching these people just play a game? Like, I want to go outside and like go to a corn maze or do something. And I didn't like get it. I didn't have like any team like allegiance. But then when I went to Penn State, I just got like infused with like just team camaraderie and energy, and I just love the whole environment. Like, besides just watching football, but there's also like the events around it. I'm kind of including in here like tailgating activities. Like, there's nothing that beats like a tailgate with good food, good friends, and like the fall crisp air. Like, before you walk into like a game, you're just celebrating. You can be drinking it, you don't have to be. The games, like, they have cornhole. It's kind of like a mini fall festival, I guess, just at a tailgate. And like, I mean, all the games I had some listed. So there's Pong you could do, Hacky Sack. Hacky Sack is an elite tailgate game that I was just turned on to last year, and I cannot wait to do it again in a few weeks with you, Daniel, when we go to Penn State.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah.
Stump. You guys ever play Stump?
No, it's Stump.
No,
Oh my
I've never even heard of Stump.
I actually have played once or twice.
I've heard of it, but
so you have like
a
tree trunk stump that you bring, and everyone circles around it. Yeah.
How does one bring a tree
I don't know.
trunk stump?
I don't know. That's not part of the game.
Ashcombes,
Yeah.
find a tree trunk.
Yeah. But you have a stump, and you hammer a bunch of nails, one nail for each person, just like very loosely in, so they're like sticking out of this stump. And
Sounds
then
like a really safe drinking game, Jake.
it's not, which was what makes it a perfect drinking game. And then everyone has a hammer, and you go around, and you have to flip the hammer, like catch it with one hand, and then hit your nail.
Yeah.
And you have one flip and then go. And like it has to be like one fluid motion. And then you have one go, then you pass to the next person. And you keep going, and it's whoever can get the nail in the quickest, you're good. So like whoever's last to get their nail in, like either they miss or like they're taking a bunch of like turns to go, then they have to drink. And it's just really fun.
Yeah.
I've done it like once or twice, I think. And I was fine.
Okay. No, I've never heard of it. It sounds fun though, and I don't disagree with you, Jake. I am not going to have differing opinion than you on fall football games. I'm not a huge sports fan, at all. But if someone asks me to go to a Penn State game,
Penn State's
fall,
carrying this category for us.
I will absolutely be there. Now, I'm not sure I'll be playing the stump game, but I will be enjoying the food and the friends and the weather and all that good
music,
stuff.
yeah.
Jake, if we go up to Penn State and like when we do this, and you just whip out a stump out of nowhere,
it'll be funny because like, I don't know when I'll have the time to do that because like the whole time
in the middle of the night, you just go chop down a tree just for the stump.
Yeah, I somehow hide it from you in the trunk of my car and just like pull it out. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I also kind of lumping in with this kind of lumps into Thanksgiving, but the like Thanksgiving football game you do with like a lot of people do with their family, I think is also kind of a fun experience, and that's within the football. It's not like I don't want it to detract from it, but because it kind of does stink when you are playing football and then you're all sweaty for the rest of the day at like Thanksgiving dinner. But besides that, more so like tailgating and like a Penn State game. That's what I'm thinking for this category. What are we thinking for ranking of this one?
I think it's great. I mean, I will tell you, because I'm not a big sports fan, like one of my downfalls of football season is when people are so like, well, we've got to get home because there's, this and this
like
game
they plan their whole life around it.
Right. Which, obviously I many reasons I chose your dad. One of them is that he was not a huge sports fan because I didn't want to run my life that way, and we never really did. But the experience that you're specifically talking about, I would absolutely put up there with Jack-o'-lantern. It's awesome.
Wow.
I really would. If I could choose between the PA Ren Fair and a Penn State game, I would go to the Penn
That's the
State
thing.
game every time.
That's a very good point, but I also think it proves a point I'm about to make that I don't think, because I said football in general, and I think there are bad football experiences, like like you even just said, like when you're at like a party, like a football party that like you don't really want to be at, or like you don't really know who's playing. I think that's what's going to bring it down a little bit for me. I think I think there's higher highs for,
But there's also lower lows.
Okay.
I wouldn't say lower lows, but it's just there are lows. Like, so I think the higher highs are not just the total picture. So overall, encompassing with football, I think I'm going to put it at a pumpkin, I think.
I'm going to put a nightmare.
I was thinking maybe like pumpkin to nightmare, like a little low pumpkin.
I would say like low and pumpkin to like.
But the highs is carrying it. So I'm sticking with pumpkin. I'm putting pumpkin.
I got to tell you, now that we're talking about the lows, see, I'm always a glass is half full kind of a gal. I will specifically push the bad stuff out and just not participate in that. But if I'm forced to, then I'm gonna have to go nightmare, because I do not want to sit around and watch football. I do not want someone to talk to me about football. I don't want to talk about your fantasy football. I don't want to do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I want to go to a Penn State game.
I just want to eat your chicken and leave.
Also, it is like, I feel like a lot of the top tier stuff, like a fall festival, you can just kind of quickly go to for like a day. I feel like a football, like if you're going to a football game, or like even like a football party, like it feels a little bit more of a chore to me to like get up and like plan everything and do, especially maybe it's just recency bias because I'm planning a whole trip around this Penn State football game that we're going to, and it's just like been a logistical nightmare. So I'm gonna, hey, Max back for audio listeners.
I'm sorry.
You're good. Maybe Max just feels strongly about football.
He's trying to get as close as possible right now. For those of you that are audio listeners, he's back and forth. He's trying to find his place to sit. But I have stuff all over the desk and he can't.
So I think I'm gonna put football. I think I'm gonna put it at like a low pumpkin. I can't go all the way to Nightmare Before Christmas. I also love, just kind of aside, that our shorthand for our mid tier is Nightmare. Like that feels like it should be like the bottom, but no, that's like middle. I also feel like, just speaking about all these, we're choosing obviously good fall activities, but like these, we haven't gone below Nightmare Before Christmas. So fall is just like a great season. It's a good time. Fall. Are there any, do you think, maybe to kind of switch gears, because as we kind of wrap up maybe this section, are there any like fall activities you're like, that's definitely like a turkey or like a snowflake? Like I am not. Yeah. Mom.
Haunted attractions. I don't want to go to Field of Screams. I don't want to go to, Field of Screams. Will never, I will drop you guys off. I will pick you, like I used to do that when you were younger. I won't even go near it. I don't want to be a part of it. I know people absolutely love it. It's just, for me, that's a snowflake. Like I don't want anything to do with it.
Interesting. I have also what?
So just when you said it like that, my mind instantly went to like the political term, like snowflake. It's just like, oh yeah, that's snowflake over there. Like
I think it's interesting because my roommate works at Universal, so I got to go to the haunted horror night for free, and I really enjoyed it. Like going with a huge group of my friends.
You got to see Owen Wilson, okay?
Yeah, that was like different. But that was different. Yeah, no, but I'm saying that was a different event.
Oh, that's true.
I went to haunted, like Universal's haunted horror nights like a couple days ago, and I loved like that experience going with friends. But again, I think that's like football. That's like the cream of the crop, because I got to go for free. There was like not a ton of lines because I was there for the employee preview night, and I was there with people that knew exactly where to go and what to do. So I think that was like the cream of the crop. If I was going and like paying and like was only with like a few people I knew, I feel like it'd be Nightmare to Turkey like territory for me. So I think I have to average to Nightmare Before Christmas. Maybe, I don't know, because it can be fun though. I think I'm gonna say Nightmare Before Christmas. I think
I'll say this. I think it's past my time with them. You know, going through high school, like again, like Field of Scream, stuff like that. Being able to go with like a group of ladies, have a good little time. You know,
the playa.
No, it was fun, but like. Now
I think those ones maybe. I think you need to go to like, if you come out here and go to like the Universal one or like the Knott's Berry Farm one is really good. Like it's like more adult. Like you can get drinks and do stuff. Like I think that's not past. I think it depends on which one you're going to. I think this covers a wide range.
Yeah.
But for the ones you're thinking of that you've been to, you're saying you're past, so you'd put it lower, like turkey leg or something.
Yeah. No, that'd probably be like turkey. Yeah.
Daniel, do you have any that you're like, yeah, that's definitely like a low tier?
Well, see, here's one I was thinking of as like a meme, but like jumping into like a pile of fall leaves.
What?
Right?
That's
but here's why. Here's why.
Listen, hear it
You
out.
think that's jack-o'-lantern. You think it's jack-o'-lantern, right? But then you do it, and then you're stabbed with sticks and branches. You got little rocks and pebbles everywhere.
You have bugs all over you. Yeah.
You're like, oh man, I'm gonna be all cool and like hidden and stuff. But people know you're in there. You know, you have to get somebody else to push leaves on you to hide.
Your intention of jumping into leaves is to try to hide from someone. That's your problem.
To like prank you, like a cousin or something. You know?
I'm just imagining little Daniel like jumping into a pile of leaves, like no one's gonna find me, like obviously sticking out.
I hear what you're saying.
So I'm saying like it's a fun idea,
Yeah.
but like there's so many things that brings it back, and you're just like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Daniel. I think the idea of jumping into a pile of leaves is awesome. I think the actual jumping part is fun. And then when you're in there and you're poked and you're thinking there's a lot of bugs in here, and then you're up and you're trying to get them out of your shirt and stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
It's
and then also, I think I'm also thinking about when we were younger and like dad would be the one raking the leaves, and so there was just always this magical pile of leaves ready for me. Like I never had to deal with like the physical manual labor of like remaking this pile of leaves. So maybe that's also part of it. That's also a factor that would bring it down, I feel like, a little bit. Because like I feel like raking leaves is legit a chore, and then jumping into leaves, you're just having to repeat that chore over and over again.
Or it could be like Pap, where he always finds the easy way to do things, and he just eventually went to a leaf blower. And was like blowing them into a pile. So what would you rank that, Daniel? Turkey?
That's
Is that what
like
you said?
low turkey, high snowflake.
Oh,
wow.
Okay.
You might have swayed me with like all the sticks and stuff, because I do remember more recently, like I think it was like a freshman in college, I like saw a pile of leaves and like jumped into it to like show off to my friends, because I was like trying to make new friends at college. I thought that would be something to do for some reason, and I did it. And then for the rest of the night, I was itchy, and I was like, "This isn't fun."
Yeah.
So maybe I think when you're like prepped for it, like, and you put on like baggy clothes, like it's probably not as and like baggy old clothes, probably not as bad of a time. So I think I'm gonna still put it at Nightmare Before Christmas, maybe low nightmare, high turkey-ish area. Because that also brings up like I love the color of that's coming back to the weather. I love the color of the leaves during that time as well. Like it's just beautiful outside in general, which I guess is separate from the jumping the leaves itself. So maybe I will have to separate those, and I'll put it high turkey. High turkey.
You did just remind me of a story. So
wait,
one time.
Sorry, one second, Mom. What do you rank it before we?
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
I'm gonna rank it turkey. Again, the idea is great. I also love the fall leaves, but the logistics of it, and then cleaning yourself up afterwards and checking for bugs and all that kind of stuff. It definitely takes the lovely fun part of it out.
I think for me, the memory of it is a jack-o'-lantern. And
100%.
The act of it is a turkey, which I think is the perfect way to be.
Yes.
All right.
Agree.
Sorry, Daniel, your story.
Yeah, no, you're talking about like getting like a jacket and like being able to do that way, so that way you're like somewhat protective of it. But it reminded me, this is kind of it's not really a fall activity, but it's even better in the fall, which is like when we go to your place and do Manhunt with the guys.
Oh,
what reminded me of that, there's this one time where I was running down the hill, like going back towards like your guys' old house. There's somebody like right on my ass, so I was like, I gotta hide, but I have nowhere to go because it's just the street. So I remember I looked to my left and there's a thorn bush there, and I'm like,
oh my gosh,
I got my jacket, so I like went like this and like jumped back. And I kid you not, I forget who it was. It might have been like Evan or Nikki, but like they continued running towards the house like an NPC. Like they just they're just gonna like, where do you go? And I was just like there, like clear as day to see if you looked right at me, because I'm just laying there in a thorn bush. But like because I like nobody would think
like
I
a
was
cartoon.
Yeah.
I think that's funny. I think Manhunt, like, was just, for anyone that doesn't know, I don't know if Manhunt's like a common term or that's something like we made up around the area, but like it's just hide and seek in the dark, like at night outside. It's super fun, but I feel like it was more difficult in the fall, which was fun because like you couldn't sneak because there were leaves on the ground, so you were just crunching every time you were walking.
That is true.
Same with, we did it in the snow, in ice, in winter. Dude, one time.
That was freaking trippy, dude.
And it was just like crunching through ice, and it was dangerous. I think we like cut up our legs a little bit because we were like stepping and like running through ice, basically. But it was so fun. Like, good times.
Good times.
Yeah. I think for if I'm ranking Manhunt as a fall activity itself, like it can be done at any time, so I think it's gonna be like low turkey to high snowflake. Although the active Manhunt itself, I love. Like it's just outside of looking at it through it at this like a fall activity perspective, I love it. But as purely a fall activity, if you're like, let's do something fun for fall today, do you want to do like carve a pumpkin or play Manhunt? I'd be like, what? Like, why? Those are not both fall activities.
But it kind of goes back to what you were saying before. Is like it depends on what time of day it is, because you do it at night. So it's like you go through your whole day of fall activities, and then you can like end it with Manhunt.
Interesting. That's a good point. Yeah. So wait, what would you rank it, Daniel? What'd you say this was?
I'm still probably gonna put like Nightmare.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I think Manhunt in general is like if we're doing it on this scale, is Jack-o'-lantern, right? But like just as a fall activity, it is like Nightmare, I would say.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say turkey. What do you say, Mom?
I'm gonna say turkey. I'm old and I don't want to be running around in the dark. But it was super fun to watch you guys do.
Nice. I feel like
the vicarious living. Well, I will give it a turkey.
Dude, there's that one time that Nikki like almost peed on you.
Oh my gosh.
Was it me or was it?
Yes, I think it was. I remember because I was up in this one tree.
Yeah, because I was hidden so well, and then Nikki like went off to this random spot in the woods he thought to like take a bathroom break, and he was like
and just
5 feet away from me, and I just heard this stream, and I was like, if I feel anything, I'm sprinting and tackling him, even though I'm hiding. Like this is insane, but he didn't find me. I feel like we could make like a movie, like a short series about our Manhunt adventures.
We probably could.
But I feel like
could. On the tier list, I feel like snowflakes are going to be reserved for like. This is just not a fall activity. Like you cannot do this in the fall. So like I feel like we're not going to bring any of those up. Like, but I feel like picking flowers is like would be a snowflake fall activity, and we're just not going to bring it up because like.
But it's not. They're sunflowers that this is their time when they peak. So sorry, Charlie.
Maybe. Well, what? Fine. Like, what about like, I guess watching.
Paint dry.
What? Yeah, watching paint. I was gonna say like watching like Home Alone or something, like a Christmas movie.
Like totally Christmas.
Yeah. That's funny. Or like celebrating Easter. Like that would definitely be a snowflake of a fall activity.
We'll make that a snowflake.
Right.
I'm still leaving my haunted stuff down at the snowflake. I just don't like it. I will never ever choose it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fine.
I get that. Yeah.
I think maybe we have time. I'll do my last one, and then we can kind of wrap it up. I know there's a ton of other fall activities that we probably had. I have a big list, but just to keep it, and maybe we can do a part 2 sometime, and we can get both you and Kylie in here, maybe, and she can. I do want to just throw in Halloween and Thanksgiving and kind of talk about the holidays as like a lump sum. I guess we start with Halloween. I feel like it's just so fun. Like when I think fall, if I'm given the choice between Halloween and Thanksgiving as like a fall holiday, honestly, I could go either way. But I think Halloween like has more childhood memory pent up with it. Like you've got getting your costume together, going around getting free candy. Like I think seriously, one of the reasons I might expedite the process of me having kids is so that I can like go around trick-or-treating again and it be like socially acceptable. I think like when I realized it was kind of that bell curve again, like by the time I realized how incredible like it was that like you could just go around and get free candy from people like in a safe environment, like, and just like go ham and like I think I was getting like on the edge of being too old, and like when I started to truly appreciate it, I was like it was not socially acceptable for me to go trick-or-treating anymore, and I was like, what? Like this was the golden years are gone. I think it's really fun, and I know like with Halloween it brings like Halloween parties like in your classroom too, Mom. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's definitely changed. We used to have like certain things that we were allowed to do, and now past COVID, we're not allowed to do certain things. So they did end up bringing the parties back. Not everybody celebrates Halloween. So, and actually there's a lot of religions that don't. So we're not allowed to to make it actually a Halloween party. It has to be like
a fall party.
It's a fall festival. It's a fall party, which is fine. And we do a lot of fun things, but the kids do love it. At my school, we're not allowed to have the kids dress up.
Oh my
They do
gosh.
at other schools. The kids are allowed to dress up. But it really is. It's just such a magical time. Even at my age, like being older and watching the young kids come around and do the trick or treating. Like it really is. It's a very fun. event, and it has such beautiful memories for us as a family. Like we would make our costume. I would make our costumes sometimes.
Yeah, you made
and
such
that
good
was fun.
costumes.
And we even went through in a parade and won
We
one time.
won
in our costume.
the costume
Dang.
contest.
So, a lot of great memories with that.
Heck yeah.
Thanksgiving is fabulous too, because it's all about family.
And food. It's all about food.
Yeah, true.
Dinner at 2 p.m. That's what I live for. Why is that at 2 p.m.?
So you have more time to digest.
I'm glad we stopped because my notes are under the cat at this point. So,
Oh.
like literally under the cat, my notes are there.
Oh. I think I'm gonna rank Halloween, Thanksgiving both at Jack-o'-lantern. Honestly, like I love both holidays.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Agreed as well.
I'm gonna rank Black Friday kind of at a snowflake. Maybe it is a fall activity, but like since it's been encroaching on Thanksgiving, and it's just about greed. So like that might actually be at a legit fall activity that I put at snowflake.
At that point, I think fall's over, in my mind.
It's the death of fall. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I don't disagree with you, Jake. I think when it was just on Friday, and,
it was kind of fun. Kind of a fun family activity you could do if you want to, and like it's exciting to get some good savings. But since it's become too greedy now, and it's not what the holiday season's about.
Right. Yeah, I don't want anybody to have to leave their family and go to work at a store.
Yeah.
No, on Thanksgiving. So.
All right.
Yeah.
I have one more thing that I need to tell you that is fabulous about the fall.
Okay.
And it has very much to do with Halloween. It's the Reese's pumpkin peanut butter cups.
Yeah.
Daniel and talk about the French fry girth to crisp ratio. There's something about
the peanut butter to chocolate.
Peanut butter ratio.
Yes. No, that's a good point.
And the Easter egg and the tree. I don't know what it is.
Interesting.
I don't know why it is.
It's like it is different. It's different than a normal Reese's cup. I don't know what they're doing. Like what they're infusing in there.
I don't know.
That's like Jack-o'-lantern plus.
Agree.
I think you want to know my honest theory on that?
Yeah.
I think it has to do with the volumetric shape because when you take a bite out of it, like with a cup, it's too uniform, it's too symmetrical. It's not organic, so because it's not organic, it doesn't.
Yeah, you kind of have like more of a bubble on top. That's more fun to bite into when it's like the special shaped ones versus like the cup kind of has like an indent a little bit.
Yeah, so it just naturally feels like it fits better.
The mechanics of biting into a peanut butter cup.
Yeah.
I don't know.
As a chocoholic, I've thought about this.
It's so different and it's delicious. So I will take that ratio of peanut butter to chocolate any day.
Yeah. All right.
Solid. Yeah, that's Jack-o'-lantern any day.
One last time. So what out of all of these that we've talked about, what is your favorite fall activity? Like if you could only choose one to do this year. What'd you say? Eating
peanut butter cups.
Yeah, same.
Man, if I could only choose one, I would still do a fall festival.
Yeah, because it has all of them in one.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's cheating. No,
and it would be even better if they had peanut butter cups there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or you bring your own. Sneak it in. Is that what you're saying, Daniel? Fall festival?
I'll say that with the caveat that the Renaissance Fair is technically a themed fall festival. So
okay. I still think for me, like I do love a fall festival and I like the idea that it has everything you can do. But I know me personally, this is just myself. When I go to a fall festival, I think it's kind of the idea where like there's a bunch of things that I like dip my hands in a little bit, but I don't get to experience one fully. Like I think for me, I have to choose one that I can like fully be like, yes, this is the activity I'm doing for today. And like I want to have my attention devoted to that. And I think for that I might go pumpkin carving. I think that activity itself is like, I don't know, it's really fun. And again, also the fact that you can like, that can turn into other fall activities. We can like make pumpkin pie with the contents of the leftover from the pumpkin carving. It's kind of like 2-in-1, which I guess kind of goes back on my idea of like, oh, I don't want to, but it's two separate ones that you do at different times at one instead of like, oh my gosh, like sensory overload. So that's just me. I do still want to say I rank Fall Festival very highly, but I think I'm going to say pumpkin carving, pumpkin patch to pumpkin carving to pumpkin pie or pumpkin swirl baking. That's going to be my
So then watching the Great Pumpkin, so then eating the pie.
Are you talking about a pumpkin roll?
Yeah, the pumpkin roll.
Okay. I'm like, what is he talking about? Okay.
Yeah, pumpkin swirl cake, yeah.
Gotcha.
Cool. I have a food for thought, unless there's do you guys have any last minute thoughts for fall activities? I know we missed some. Everyone leave a comment of your favorite fall activity that we said or you didn't, that we didn't say.
Yeah, I'm very curious. I'm very curious. I know you have some listeners that are in other parts of the world and things
Yeah.
like that. Like, I'm curious about the types of, sorry, now the cat is currently attacking my headphones. I'm very curious what types of things they do in the fall because I'm not familiar. I mean, other than like Oktoberfest, that's really all
Right.
that I really know about.
I think it depends on what part of the world they're in. Because, like, if you're on the other hemisphere, right, it's flipped.
Yeah, because their
Right?
fall is probably like during springtime, right?
Well, I don't, like I said, I'm very curious. So I hope that your listeners will definitely add some things that they like to do.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Mac looked directly into my soul there for a second. He was like, I'm actually the scariest thing you're going to see this Halloween season. All right. So, food for thought. I want to just quickly ask what everyone's favorite fall dessert is. So we've got like options, I guess, are like the apple pie, that pumpkin swirl roll cake bread thing. There's pumpkin pie. I mean, a whole variety of fries. But I guess you could say the Reese's peanut butter cups. But that's kind of more a snack. I don't know if that's like a full dessert.
Yeah, it's more snack.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's a snack. I don't disagree.
So yeah, fall's desserts. What's everyone's thoughts?
For me, it's going to be something that has pumpkin cake with it. So whether it's like a pumpkin whoopie pie or one of those pumpkin
Oh,
rolls.
whoopie pie is a good shout.
Yeah. Whoopie pie is a good shout out.
Yeah, even just pumpkin, like a piece of a pumpkin loaf that's just
Yeah.
Oh, I'd rather say just a pumpkin. You know? I'm just
Gnaw on a raw pumpkin.
just take a bite out of it.
That's how I carve.
Yeah, that would be, even like a pumpkin cupcake or something. Like, so something with a pumpkin cake with it.
Yeah,
that's going to be
pumpkin
my top.
flavored items is like your.
Yeah.
Not even, because there are a lot of pumpkin flavored items I don't like. I won't touch a pumpkin
so specifically
pie.
has to have pumpkin in it.
It has to be a pumpkin cake, like that
Got
the
it.
actual
I
cake.
see.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daniel, what about you?
I mean, I'm not. If I'm being honest, I'm not much of a pumpkin.
I know
guy.
you're not a huge pumpkin.
Yeah.
guy.
So whenever that's like one thing I kind of hate when it comes to this season, when it comes to like
pumpkins,
Starbucks and
what?
stuff. No, it's like oh yeah, I'm gonna get my pumpkin spice latte. Like
Right.
like I don't care. Yeah. So,
Is
like,
that do you also feel that way during the
during the Grimace Shake episode? Yeah.
No, what's the McDonald's the
McFlurry.
No, the one
Shamrock
that's
Shake.
Shamrock
Shake.
Shake. Yeah, do you feel that way about that too?
That's even worse because I hate mint. So
Oh
I'm just
my
like,
gosh.
Me too.
Oh.
it's just like that. It's like, why would I care about this? I don't care about Mr. Shammy Shake, and I don't like the mint either. So like, get out of here. But like, no, like when it comes to this, I'm more of a classic. Give me this is I'm gonna get specific here. It needs to be apple pie
With vanilla ice
Right?
cream on top.
vanilla ice cream, but there needs to be a nice strong, not like overtly strong, but nice strong cinnamon.
Oh,
added to
dude,
that.
you're making my stomach rumble. Right, you said the cinnamon, and my stomach went. Oh, we need that very soon.
That makes me think of fall. You know.
That's very
like-
good.
There's so many great apple things. I mean, and particularly in September more than October, because it really is
Yeah.
like the apple picking season.
Apple
I
picking
don't
was gonna be one of
disagree.
my activities
Yeah.
that I just didn't get to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, for me, I am gonna say that pumpkin swirl cake thing. What is the filling? Is it like cream cheese or like?
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so. It
I
just.
don't know if it's just cream cheese. I've
I think
never
it's like
made
a
it, but I
cream
think
cheese
it's
like
cream.
mixed with something.
Right.
Yeah.
It may be like mixed with Cool Whip or so. I don't know.
Cool
I don't know.
Whip.
Cool
yeah.
Whip.
I really like that, and I only usually have it like around fall and Christmas time, and it's just like such a treat. Do you not like those, Daniel? Since you don't like,
I like the chocolate ones of those, where it's like the roll, where it's like the.
that's the thing.
chocolate
I
and
don't
you get
think
the-
I'd like the chocolate as much as the pumpkin. Like, there's something about the pumpkin one. I think it has like a hint of cinnamon in it. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe the one I
It might
just
be
had.
nutmeg. Oftentimes when
Maybe.
people make
Could be, yeah.
pumpkin things, they have nutmeg.
Gotcha. All right. Well, yeah. There's Mac again coming in hot. He's like, I heard food. Did someone say cake?
Oh, buddy.
All right. Well, that's kind of our episode today. Thank you, Mom, seriously, for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Oh, happy to. Thank you so much for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Was there
Yeah.
anything you wanted to like shout out for people to check out for you, or anything you
Nope,
want to
just
say?
support your local elementary schools. Any extra books or anything like that?
Yeah.
Supplies, crayons, markers, glue
Heck
sticks.
yeah.
We love any type of donations.
That's one of the most wholesome shout out messages we've ever had.
Yeah.
All right.
Anything like that. Just again, we'd love to hear what you like to do in the fall. I'm very curious about everybody's favorites. I'll make a new fall bucket list, maybe.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
That'd be really good to get ideas. All right, so then we'll sign off. We'll send you off, Mom. Not send you off. That sounds like I'm telling you to get out. But we're gonna cut to the next section. We'll just be Daniel and I. We're gonna go through the patron shoutouts, cool comments, and introduction. But thank you again for joining us, Mom. See you in the next section. Boosh! All right, here we are out of the main segment. Thank you again to my mom for joining us. That was a very good episode. It's getting me hyped for fall. I want to go outside, jump in some leaves. Maybe not. Since we talked about how bad that actually is.
Don't do that, bro.
Also, there's no leaves on the ground, so that would hurt because I just hit concrete, the dirty LA concrete. Anyways, you ready for the patron shoutouts, Daniel?
Yeah, hit me with them.
Cue the epic stars. Music. Boosh. Got Patron. Lori, Frank, Rick, Lisa, Evan, Tony. Thank you so much. Pledge the tier. Thanks to the shout out. If you'd like to support us over on Patreon, look down in the description. You get the audio episode early, especially benefits, cool perks, all that jazz, and more. Thank you seriously, sincerely to our Patreon supporters. We really appreciate the support. All right, you ready for cool comments?
Yeah, but what do we have this time?
We have Josh McIntyre on our episode on YouTube storytelling versus Hollywood episode. They said that YouTube is so different to anything else these days, and the competition for attention is really interesting. Diving deep into that was cool. Love the episode. So thank you, Josh. We really appreciate it. Yeah, I really I had that idea in my head for a while, doing Hollywood versus YouTube storytelling, and I think I want to revisit it once the strike is over so we can actually cite specific examples from movies to talk about. And kind of dive into that. But it really is interesting. It's a good point that like the competition for attention on YouTube is so much fiercer than it was like 10 years ago. Yeah, it's just changed a lot, especially people talk about like the Mr. Beastification of YouTube. But yeah, cool stuff. All right.
Yeah.
Ready for the introduction?
Yeah, man. Tell me when.
When?
We just talk about what we want to talk about, and now we're done.
Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. We really sincerely appreciate it. We'll be back next time. Let us know in the comments, again, please, about your favorite fall activities and things that we missed. We might do a part 2 about this, or maybe we can also do this for other seasons, like favorite winter activities when winter comes around.
Honestly, that'd be a good idea, man.
Winter is coming. All right. See you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.